Ah, power. Over the course of 11 episodes, we've seen what men will do to claim it. The battles they fight, the betrayals they commit, the sacrifices they make. Some of them ruled with iron fists, others with silver tongues. Some burned bright and fast, others played the long game in the shadows. But in the end, their stories all led to the same three doors: exile, death, or on the rarest of occasions, a quiet retirement. Those are the prices of power. They always have been, and tonight we meet the man who knew that better than anyone. The one who never sat on the throne, but decided who did. This is the story of Ricimer, the last great puppet master of Rome. Power, it's a dangerous thing. Some fight for it, some die for it, and some never touch it at all. Because they know the real power isn't in holding the throne, it's in deciding who gets to sit on it. Rome was already dying, its days numbered, its emperors weaker with every passing year. And yet there was one man who never ruled, but ruined those who did. A man without a crown, without a dynasty, without an empire of his own, and yet he held Rome in the palm of his hand. For nearly 2 decades, emperors rose and emperors fell. Some thought they could change the empire's fate. Some thought they could defy him. But in the end, they all learned the same lesson. No one ruled without Ricimer's permission. And when that permission was revoked, well, their reigns didn't last long. They say power has a price, but what happens when one man holds the ledger? The Roman Empire wasn't what it used to be. Gone were the days of Augustus, of Trajan, of emperors who commanded armies and ruled with absolute authority. No, by the mid-5th century, the Western Roman Empire was little more than a hollow shell, collapsing under the weight of invasions, corruption, and weak rulers. And yet, in the chaos, some men thrived. Ricimer was one of them. Born around 405 AD, Ricimer was a man caught between two worlds. His father was a Suebi chieftain, a barbarian by Roman standards. His mother, a Visigothic princess tied by blood to the great Theodoric. But Ricimer wasn't some wandering warlord raiding villages and burning cities. No, he was different. He wanted to be Roman. And Rome? Well, Rome was willing to use him. Ricimer clawed his way up the ranks of the Roman military, proving himself on the battlefield. He wasn't just some brute with a sword, he was clever. He understood that in this version of Rome, real power didn't come from ruling. It came from controlling the rulers. In 456 AD, the emperor was a man named Avitus. Born in Clermont, Gaul around 395 AD, Avitus was a senator first, a general second, and an emperor never. Weak, unpopular, an outsider to the military elites. Ricimer saw an opportunity. With the backing of the Roman Senate, he overthrew Avitus, leaving the empire without a ruler. But Ricimer, he didn't take the throne. He wasn't stupid. He knew that a man like him, half barbarian, a soldier rather than a senator, could never be accepted as emperor. So he did the next best thing. He chose one. At first, Majorian seemed like the perfect puppet. Born in Leon, Gaul in 420 AD, he was a competent general, loyal to Rome and grateful to Ricimer for his rise to power. But Majorian, he wasn't just another weak figurehead. He had plans, real plans. He wanted to rebuild Rome's armies. He wanted to take back lost territories. He wanted to rule. And Ricimer, he wasn't having any of it. When Majorian marched south to reclaim Africa from the Vandals, Ricimer made sure his supply lines failed. When Majorian returned to Italy, thinking he would be welcomed home as a hero, Ricimer was waiting for him. They say Majorian was forced to abdicate. But let's be real. This wasn't a peaceful retirement. Ricimer had him captured, stripped of his title, and executed. The lesson was clear. No one ruled without Ricimer's approval. Libius Severus, born 420 AD, Lucania, Italy, he was the ghost emperor. After Majorian's death, Ricimer picked Libius Severus, a harmless politician born in Italy but with no real power base. His reign was so insignificant that even his own allies barely noticed when he was gone. When he died in 465 AD, likely poisoned, no one mourned. No one even fought over the throne, because by then they all knew the truth. Rome didn't have emperors anymore. Rome had Ricimer. Anthemius, born in 420 AD, Constantinople he was, the last fighter. By 467 AD, the Eastern Roman Empire forced Ricimer to accept a new emperor. Anthemius, a Greek-born aristocrat with real military ambitions. But Ricimer didn't like ambition. Tensions boiled over into open war. Ricimer laid siege to Rome. Anthemius fought. He was the first emperor who truly tried to resist. But in 472 AD, he was hunted down and beheaded. Libius, born 420 AD in Rome, he was the final pawn. With Anthemius dead, Ricimer installed Libius, a Roman noble who ruled for just 7 months. He was nothing but a placeholder, a final desperate attempt to hold power. But within weeks, Ricimer himself was dead. Some say illness, others say poison, and without him, the empire collapsed. Ricimer never wore the purple, never called himself emperor, never carved his name into the annals of history like Julius Caesar or Augustus, but for nearly 2 decades he was Rome. And yet, for all his power, for all his manipulation, in the end he was just another forgotten name in a dying empire. Within 4 years of his death, the Western Roman Empire would cease to exist. So was Ricimer a genius? A master of politics, or just another desperate man clinging to power in a world that was already doomed? That is for you to decide. And there you have it, friends, the end of the price of power. A season filled with betrayal, murder, and power struggles, and yet the lesson remains the same. Power, it's never truly yours. It's only borrowed. Across 11 episodes, we've seen men rise and fall, all believing they could hold on forever. And yet only Sulla and Laodice escaped the fate that comes for all rulers. No exile, no execution, just survival. The rest? They learned the truth the hard way. Because power, my friends, power always comes at a price. And that price, well, the price is usually death.